Hampton Roads has a long-running high school and college sports tradition. It's time to give them the spotlight they deserve. This is 757 Saturday Sports Talk. Here is Matt Hatfield.
We welcome you back to the show, back here on 757 Sports Talk. Matt Hatfield here with you, joined by a special guest. He is the head football coach of the Bulldogs of Norfolk Academy, getting ready for year number 15, I think it is, at the helm. He'll correct me if that's not right. He is Steve Monninger. Coach, happy summer. It's August. It's your time of the year as a football coach, so you pumped up for another year?
Yeah, of course, Matt. It's an awesome time of year. Summer workouts just finished up. And we worked really hard in the weight room and on the turf, getting faster, getting stronger. And day one is Monday. So that's the time we get to start building our team and installing all of our schemes. And it's the most exciting time of the year.
We've had you on before on our On the Hash with Hatfield podcast, which people can check out during the week as the football season gets rolling. But for those that are unfamiliar with Steve Monninger, Norfolk Academy's program, fill us in on your background. What drew you to the situation where you're now getting ready for, I guess this would be, depending on how you view it, your second or third decade coaching football there?
Yeah, it's been quite a journey. I'm really lucky. I grew up loving the game of football, and I played high school football, and I grew up in New Jersey. And I played for a school called Westfield High School in New Jersey. And football was pretty important in that area of the country, and it was fun to do that. And got to play football in college at a small college in Vermont called Middlebury College. Which is where I stayed and coached, and eventually became a defensive coordinator and coached at Middlebury College for 13 years. And then with kind of family situation and two little boys, trying to figure out what I wanted to do, and kind of made a transition out of college and looked for some prep school jobs around the country, and landed here at Norfolk Academy. And I've been here ever since, and just absolutely loving it, and love this school, love this atmosphere, love this culture. And it's high academics and a lot of character building at the school, which is a perfect fit for me and my family.
That's terrific. Recap last season, how it went for you guys, and we'll get to some of the names as far as players to watch for this season. But the private school football scene is ever changing, much like the public school, isn't it?
Yeah, I think independent school football locally in the TCIS, and then statewide, which is VISA, that's the governing body of independent schools around the state, is really strong. And we travel around the state to play competition here and farther away. And it's gotten better in my time here, certainly this is my 15th year. So I've seen the talent increase. I've seen a lot of independent school football players that are going on to play high levels of college football afterwards. So it's been cool to see that development, and I think it's definitely continuing. It's still always a struggle because there's admissions processes which are very different than public schools, and financial aid and so forth, which are different. But overall, it's been impressive how it's gotten better, and the coaches have gotten better over the years as well, which has been impressive. And last year we had a really strong year. We were 7-2 and had a great football season. And after graduating a lot the year before, we bounced back and had a really, really solid season. So last year was a year I was, at the end of it, I was really proud of our guys and proud of our accomplishments after that season.
Before I dig in on one of the names that I really love for your team who's committed to a program at the next level, we got a whole bunch of names all over the states going across our ticker, and he's a lineman, so they don't get a lot of love or glory, if you will. You guys just wrapped up a 7-on-7. I think it was you guys and NSA, Hampton Roads Academy Catholic. Tell us what you gained from 7-on-7, because once you get out of June and July, you hit August, 7-on-7 is over, but there are some pluses and benefits to it, aren't there?
Yeah, first off, you get to compete against other teams, get to meet other coaches, because Coach Duncan's new from NSA, so I got to meet him, and just create some friendly competition, some rivalry stuff that'll carry over to the season. But yeah, you're right. 7-on-7 is not the game of football. It's a fun part of the game. It's a fun aspect of the game, and it's really good to get guys out there and running plays and running routes. But in real football, you don't count to 5 alligators, and then the quarterback has to throw the football. So we get a lot out of it because it helps us with timing and rhythm and so forth, and just gets the kids' mindset right for formations and motions and shifts as you move into the season. But yeah, the real game is a lot more physical, a lot more violent, which is what I love.
Well, better to count the 5 alligators than dodge 5 of them. That would be
That's true.
a little more difficult. Hey, you have a guy in the trenches who is one of the best in the 757 in all of Virginia. People will see his name scrolling across in a moment here. Hunter Wynn, 6'5", 310, headed to Liberty. Tell us what makes him so unique and special for you guys.
Yeah, Hunter has been on varsity since his freshman year, and it's been awesome to watch him develop on the field and also as a young man in terms of his character development. He's becoming a leader, a captain of the football team, and so forth. But yeah, you're right. You can't deny or miss his size. He's certainly big and strong, but he's also really athletic. He moves well. You can't get a scholarship offer to a place like Liberty without being big and agile and mobile. So his footwork is really impressive. He's got good speed, good power. I think the thing that separates him and a lot of the college coaches during this process, when they were talking to me about his film, that stands out is, he's got a little bit of a nasty side to him, a little bit of an edge. We talk about a coin has not 2 sides, a coin has 3 sides, right? Heads, tails, and then the edge. And Hunter plays with the edge. I mean, he finishes blocks, he pancakes people, he can flip dudes over. He's as aggressive in space and in the trenches as I've ever seen, and coaches love seeing that. He just the level of intensity and passion he plays with really jumps out off the film.
I love that. Heads, tails, and an edge. So next time Ed always says, call in the air heads or tails, I'm going with the edge here. As we chat with Steve Monninger, head football coach of the Norfolk Academy Bulldogs, our guest here on 757 Sports Talk on CoVA Sports TV. We'll dive into the schedule here in a moment. You'll get a chance to view it as they have Currituck, North Carolina coming up in just a few weeks on the road. Also have some intriguing home games in their kickoff classic with St. Christopher's and a public-private school matchup that we'll dig into. But tell the folks about other players on the offensive side of the ball before we flip to the defense that will be key factors for you in addition to Hunter Wynn, if you can.
Yeah, I think the neat part about our team this year is we've got good perimeter speed and good athleticism all around. Reed Fox is another captain, senior, who on defensive side of the ball led the team in interceptions last year, but he plays slot receiver for us, and he's definitely a threat running the ball and receiving. Thomas Newman is another senior. He's 6'3", 200 pounds, a really big target, receiving the ball, which is really awesome. So we're excited about that. We have another senior named Gunnar Zimmerman playing tight end for us, another big target as well. I'm also excited about our running backs. Parks Andrews is a compact and tough and strong running back. He's going to be a junior for us this year. We also have a new student athlete named Cortland Simmons, who came from Weddington, North Carolina, who has shown this summer that he's one of the fastest, strongest kids in our program. We're going to use him certainly on both sides of the ball and just trying to create different ways to get the ball to these guys. And at quarterback, Davis Stedman was our backup last year. Very good baseball player, big, strong kid, and is going to take over the reins this year with some other competition of another quarterback. But I think it's going to be really, really special for him to distribute the ball to different guys, and we don't have just one go-to guy all the time. We haven't in our offense typically. So this year, I think distributing the ball is going to be really important for us.
Yeah, a season ago, Will Foley made so many big plays for you now at Hampton, Sydney. Really, you don't replace a player of that ilk with just one individual. It's sort of by collectively, isn't it?
Yeah, Will was really special, a super dynamic athlete and ran with great balance and could break tackles, really elusive. We got him the ball in a lot of different ways, whether it was wildcat or screen game or in the pass game, et cetera. So yeah, with him graduating, yeah, there's not just like one answer. But I think what we're going to do is create a lot of different ways to get lots of guys the ball, and I think we've done a really good job of that with our offense over the past few years. Of that way, there's not one thing to key on for the defense, and it's worked well for us.
And going over to the defensive side of the ball, Coach, you have 5 regulars back, including that 6'5", 310 guy going to Liberty and Hunter Wynn. You got to play them both ways, don't you?
Yeah, at our school we play guys both ways. We can't play platoon football, but it's been good for us. A lot of those guys are able to play both ways and special teams. We'll find ways to get them rest. We'll definitely rotate a lot of defensive linemen in. I'm also excited about our linebacking core. Sean Duffy is a really good linebacker for us. Parks Andrews will be there as well. Gunnar Zimmerman, and Newman, and we have another player named Jacob Dyer who's been pretty special for us this summer, who fought some injuries last year, but he's super fast and explosive. He's going to start as our nickel linebacker. So overall, it's a really good group.
A few minutes here with Norfolk Academy head football coach Steve Monninger, our guest on 757 Sports Talk on CoVA Sports TV. Like, share, and subscribe to the YouTube channel and interact with us wherever you are tuning in and viewing the show. And season opener not that far off in the distance, coach, as you take on Currituck of North Carolina on the road Friday, August the 22nd. But the game that jumps out to me, certainly that's a game that matters to you guys, because you always have to say you can't take any other game before the other ones. You know, you can't take game 6 before game 1 or game 4 before game 2. You have a matchup with Granby on the slate, who had a really nice year a season ago and made some noise out of the Eastern District playoff team. Tell us how that came about, because we don't always get those public versus private matchups, but I know for the kids in the community, it's something pretty neat.
Yeah, it's kind of rare to get a matchup like that. We're really excited about it. We know they're an excellent program, and we're going to have our hands full for sure. But we're excited about the matchup. One, because we're looking to not travel as much. So in Vista, it's a lot of work for us to go to Northern Virginia, and 3.5-hour rides is not uncommon for us. So we kept poking around for some opportunities to play more locally and get a little more buzz in the 757. And through some connections with our athletic directors, it seemed to work out. And we're really excited about it, and I think it's going to draw a really good crowd. We get them home this year, and we'll play them at their place next year. And I just think more eyes will be on it, which is a lot of fun for the area and for our student athletes.
Yeah, it should be pretty cool, because that game is going to be with the Comets of Granby on Friday, October 17th, 6:30 matchup, as it's one of those games that will be coming your way before you close out the regular season with collegiate school and with Catholic. Just recently, the VHSL came out with its schedules for the public schools, coach, and this is the first year they're not keeping the PowerPoints for the power ratings that they release every week. It's going to be up to individual regions and administrators to do that. Fill the folks in on how it's working for the private schools, all the different levels. You know, with Vista, you have Division 1, 2, and 3. What are the pros and cons? Where does it stand? Do you see any changes coming in future years? What's your view of it, big picture, if you can?
You know, it's a little bit convoluted. They end up using a combination of points in conjunction with polls. So coaches' polls and points, and at the end of the day, basically they pick the top 4 teams in Division 1 and Division 2, and they just play a Final Four, which I think is healthy. There's been talk about moving it to 6 or 8 teams, and then seasons start to extend into basketball and wrestling season. I question whether that's the right way to go. It is pretty selective, because if you're that 5th team, and we've been that 5th team the past couple of years, that kind of on the outside looking in, I'm not saying we deserved it, but we were right on that bubble to make the D1 Vista playoffs. So it's not like a set system. Basically, the end result is from that poll, and they look at matchups and who beat who, and not everyone plays everyone. So it's a little bit, the poll matters a lot. But I think every year they do a good job of getting the best 4 in that group.
Yeah, it's so tricky, because, and I think this applies to both the Vista with the private schools and the VHSL with public programs. I don't know that there is a perfect way to do it. I did speak with a coach this week out from Southwest Virginia. He's glad that they're sticking with the power rating system, because it's better than just giving X amount of points for a win, X amount of points for a loss. The quality of your opponent should matter, which you guys sort of get with the poll factor, right?
We do, yeah. The coaches kind of have an idea of who beat who, and all the records and scores are all kept in one little database, so you can scan it and see it. And if you're not sure of someone, you just check it out and see what their scores were like and see how they matched up. And I think overall it works. Anytime you have a situation where the adults are in charge of everything and they're thinking of themselves first, it doesn't work. But as long as you're thinking of the aspect for the player experience, the student athlete experience, as long as that's a priority, then I'm all good with it.
And lastly, thank you so much for coming on the time. Should be an exciting time for you guys in the TCIS and the private school football scene. You got Granby on the slate. You had the rivalry game with Catholic at the end. I know there's some other twists and turns with different schools, such as Norfolk Christian having club football this year. When it's all said and done, the dust settles. What in your eye will determine how much success you have, besides the obvious ones of we got to take care of the ball, Matt, run the ball, stop the run, and stay healthy?
Yeah, it's neat, because this is the greatest team sport ever created, and every week you go in trying to have a 1-0 mindset, and you're going to take 1 week at a time and try and win that game. Whether you win or lose, you buckle up the next week and you have another 1-0 mindset. So yeah, certainly we want to put a great product on the field on Friday nights, and we want to win football games. And we have a talented group of kids, and we're ready to go do that. But all of the coaches out there that are in this for the right reasons are thinking about success and defining success. It mostly comes down to how do these young men grow? How do they grow in terms of character, in terms of toughness, in terms of accountability, loyalty, friendships? That is the most important thing. And whether you have a winning record or a losing record, I fall back and think about those moments and really debate and analyze. Did they get better as young men? Did they get closer? Are these friendships and relationships things that are going to last well into their 20s and 30s? And I think that's the most important thing, that quality relationships are built and they grow as young men.
Fantastic. He is the head football coach of the Bulldogs of Norfolk Academy. Steve Monninger, our guest here on 757 Sports Talk on CoVA Sports TV. Thank you so much. Enjoy the rest of the summer, the little bit left you have, and we'll see you on the gridiron.
Appreciate it, Matt. Thank you so much.
That is Steve Monninger, our guest here on 757 Sports Talk. We've got more coming your way. Don't touch that dial. You're watching CoVA Sports TV.